Okay, so today we're going to talk about layer and text styles. So to start off, we're just going to make a square, quick square. Just make it, we'll say 99, 99. Let's take off the borders. Actually, you know what? Let's keep the borders. And what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this 6 times. So actually 7 times. So I'm going to click, this is a craft plugin, and in here there's a little, this is the duplicate tool. So I'm going to go horizontal and say 6 and give it a spacing of 10. That's the spacing in between each. And then duplicate and done. All right, so now we left the borders and we also left the fill. What I'm going to do now is I want to actually create my swatches, the color palette that I want to use in my site. So I like this purple, and I went to cooler.com from Adobe. I set that purple that I want right in the middle. I selected Triad, and these are the color combinations that came. I really like them, so I am going to keep them. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste these colors into these squares. So what you do is you just select and basically copy and paste. And I'm just going to go here, paste, and then I'm just going to do it on a border too. All right, and I'll go to the next one, copy, here, paste, and on border. Next one. Oh, what did I just do? Let's go here. Okay, that's better. Okay, so border, then we go to this light green. And then go to the border. Oops. And then this last one here, I'll just make it like a C-O. Maybe a little bit lighter. I want something like a lighter gray. Maybe something like, just say something like that. Okay, and I want the same color on the border. Oops, stop it. Okay. Okay, so great. So now I got my color palette, and those are my fills and borders, but what I actually want is I want 2 different ones. I want one for fill and one for border. So what I'm going to do is I'll just copy this, and I'll make a duplicate of it, and then I'll go into this, and I'll select them all, and I will shut off the border, and then I'll go in this one, select them all, and I'll get rid of the fill. And there you go. Now I have borders and fills in both swatches. Okay, so now we have squares, but now I want to actually store this, right? So I can reuse these colors. To do that, you just select, create new style, and I'll call this dark purple. Beige. Okay, and then here I'm going to do the same thing. Create new, I'll say Dark purple outline. Do that. Okay, so now I've created shared styles for both the fills and the outlines. So now what I'm able to do is if I create, say, a bunch of shapes, create some squares, create some circles, say these are all buttons in my interface, I can start to say, okay, well this, instead of starting to look and always looking for that hexadecimal and placing it here, pasting it, takes forever. I could just go to my shared styles, select what I want, and I want this one to be green, and I want this one to be something like that, and done. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that makes it interesting too is like, you know what, maybe let's just say I decided to change my mind. You know what? I don't like purple anymore. I want it to be orange. So maybe I go in here and I bring this over here and I change this to like an orange. Ooh, like that looks nice, right? Something like that, like an orange and a blue or something, right? So now I want to change everything. Now just imagine that I created an entire interface and it's all this swatch theme, and now I need to change it. So I'd have to go into every single element and change the colors, and that would take forever. So what you can do instead, because I created shared styles, I could go in here, grab this color, I could grab that purple that I don't no longer want to be purple. Right? I can change the fill, and what you see here is a little reset button, and when I reset it, it changes. The light purple is no longer light purple. And actually, if I do the same here, let's just say I want to make this red, right? And I want to change this, change this one, right? Because this one and this one are the same style. So if I go here, I change that, and then I reset it, you'll notice that this one changes that as well. So anything that has that same shared style is going to change. So pretty cool. I'm going to keep it the way that I had it before. Okay. All right, so that's the swatches. Now what we want to do is do text. Text is very similar to how swatches work. So let's grab a text. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going to create some type 1. I want to create, say, 4, 5, 6 of these, right? And what we want to do, so headers it's a term used in HTML. So it's basically your headings. So if you went to, say, New York Times or wherever, you'll have different fonts at different sizes depending on what you want emphasis. So you have headings, you have subheadings, and all that sort of stuff. In HTML, those are called H1s, H2, H3, H1 being the largest, H4 being much smaller, and everything in between. So what we want to do is we're going to create shared styles for all of those, because if you want to create a quick little, say, caption text, you want to have that, instead of having to remember what size, what color, and all that sort of stuff, what font you use, just have it all shared. You just select one button and it just transforms it. So instead of just making up stuff, what we could use is, this is called the modern scale. It's a really cool article. I'll assign this later. You don't have to read it now, but I'll definitely share this with y'all. It's a way to make your text flow really nicely through sizes, right? So you don't want things to be, you don't want your H1s to be like much larger than your H2s, because when they're next to each other, it's going to look kind of weird. So you want something that looks really nice. Also, what they do, what I really like about this site is they break it down by types, right? So you don't want like the size of an H1 in a desktop, because the screen is larger, is going to take up most of your screen real estate if you look at that on a phone. So they have a nice little breakdown on how you should size these, your H1s, H2s, H3s, H4s. So we'll start off here, and we're going to, actually first let's just call these H1, H2, H3, oops, H3, H4, and then call block quote and body. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to do there, and let's just align this, space this nice. Okay. All right, so start off with H1. So H1s, we're going to say that we're going to do this for the desktop. So 48. So you go over here, 48, done. All right, then you go to H2. H2 desktop 36, 36, right here, done. H3, 28, right here, 28, done. H4, 18, 18. Block quote is going to be 24, 24, and then body is 16. So 16 is actually, that's typically for pretty much every browser that I know of. 16 is what's called the base font size. So everything, if you don't change, the font size automatically shows up as 16. Okay, so now we have that. If I wanted to, I can change the colors, right? So I want actually to use 80880, right? Or actually no, 08008. There, okay. Slightly off black. And now I want to actually save these. So what I do here, same thing as I did before, create style, and it's pretty cool because whatever you, one of the good things about naming it is it already names it here. So you just be done, here, create, save, done. And body. All right, so now we have everything there, and you'll see all the attributes, the font, the color, I'm sorry, the font size, and so forth. And now, if I wanted to type something, and I want to quickly change the font sizes, all I need to do is go to that shared style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a text block, right? And this is going to be a heading. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another tool here in Craft, this right here, and we're going to create, there's custom, I'm going to create a headline, and I'll create a little advertising headline, and boom, it shows up really nicely. Then I'm going to create another text, actually let's go from here, another text here, and I'm going to create an article, an advertising article, and that's that, and that expanded way too big, so I'm going to make it smaller, say 600. Okay, and there we go. So this here, I'm going to make my body style, and this here, I'm going to make my header style. So I'll just say it's like an H2. All right, and let's just say up here, say like my website, right? So that's like the header, that would be my H1. And let's say maybe we had a couple things here. Oops. Let's move this over here. I'll say here I have an H3, right? And then we have another paragraph there. So you get the idea. So now that's how you do that. And then same thing, like if I decide that, you know what, I actually want my H2s to be slightly different. You know, I want to, you know, for whatever reason, I want it to, you know, maybe I want it to be a different color. I want it to be blue, right? Same thing happens here. See this little area? Click it, and now my H3s have changed. So now if I make this an H3, it's going to change that. So there you go. That's basically it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.